Well, good morning, everyone. Um, it's kind of cold outside, I see. But once again, we're back to have a conversation again this morning. I pray that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. And now I know everyone is kind of getting geared up for the Christmas holidays. So just to welcome you back once again to have this conversation on this morning, I want to talk about necessary. That's something that was laid on my heart. Necessary. Some things in our lives are just necessary that we have been through, and some things that we are currently going through. So in our lives, let's stop beating ourselves up because of our past and also from some of the things that we're dealing with right now that's not so comfortable, because necessary. Everything that has happened in our lives and is happening right now, it was necessary in order for us to be the people that we are right now. See, some of those things in your life that was so painful, it made you a stronger, a better person. It made you a go-getter. It got you off the sideline and into the game. It was necessary. It was necessary for some people that, walked out of your life. That was necessary. You might have didn't want them to go, but God said time was up. So it was necessary. That new job that you got and that job that you hated to leave. The only reason why you in a new position right now, because what was necessary at the time was done. And you know what? That was walking away from the old in order to get to the new. So when you look at life, when you just sit back, this is something I'm talking to myself like as I'm talking to you. When you look at life overall and you take a self-evaluation, you will find, this is something that happened to me. You will find that the things that you thought was so horrible, the things that you thought would take you out was necessary, because it made you who you are right now. You're a beautiful person right now. You're a stronger woman right now. You're a stronger man right now. You have more today than you had yesterday. You know why? Because you looked at where you were and decided, you made a conscious decision. I don't want to stay where I'm at. So it's necessary that I take the next step that I need to take in life. Stop sitting down, allowing your past to hold you back. It's good for all of us to talk about, because that was our stepping stool. So don't look at it in a negative way. You can now pat yourself on the back and say to yourself, I didn't let that keep me down. I didn't allow that to destroy me. I didn't allow that to define where I was going to go in life. It was necessary that I made the choices that I had to make, even though it was uncomfortable. See, every word that floats about in this atmosphere, what we call world that we live in, impacts all of us some kind of way. So see, that's why I'm a word person, because words mean, they mean something. It's not just, oh, A. No, just that word alone is A means something, because it leads into something more of importance. I am a woman. That's important. I am a professional. That's important. I am a child of God. That word alone, A, is important because it leads into something else. I am a warrior. I am a fighter. I fight for what I need and want in my life. Even when people are against me, I am stable enough to know what I am going to and not going to accept. When we get that straight, when we begin to enjoy who we are, we gonna be all right. See, we can't enjoy ourselves because we are so worried about how everybody else feel about us. We're so busy trying to keep people in our life that don't want to be in our life. I'm going to go back to that word necessary. Sometimes it's necessary to put people out. It's necessary to move to that next level. It's even necessary to learn how to love again. Because why I say that? We get so down. And when I say love, I'm talking about learn how to trust somebody else, other people that want to be a part of your life. Everybody is not trying to come in your life to take you down. Some people are coming in your life. People that's trying to come in your life, they're increasing your circle and they can be a benefit for you. And it's necessary that you open up your heart. This I'm not talking about some kind of in love relationship. I'm talking about learning how to love other people outside of the people that you've already been loving in your life. Because new people gonna come into your life and you have to learn how to be acceptable. Because as long as you have prayed about it, don't you know when new people come into your life and God has sent them people there, they are there to be a benefit for you. That's what I'm talking about. Learning how to love and trust people outside of your normal circle, because we like to normalize things. You know, I talked on last week, we normalize struggle. Where it's always been that way, and that's the way it's going to be. Mama and them had it hard. It ain't nothing wrong with it. You do not have to struggle to get to better all the time. Just look at it like this. When mom and daddy was coming through, what they went through was necessary. It was necessary that they had to go through what they went. They didn't have all these rights that we have. And they mamas and daddies didn't have the rights that they have. And it goes on and on and on back into ancestry. But you know what? Even with that, and we don't like slavery, and slavery is not comfortable to even talk about, to even feel about what our ancestors went through, right? But it was necessary. And look where we are now. Look at the rights that you have now. They found it to be necessary to be runaway slaves. You know, to try to get to the Quakers, it was necessary because they were trying to get to better. And if they were trying to get to better, don't you think it's necessary for us to try to get to better? Because our children and our grandchildren are going to have to experience some things that we never even faced in the same manner. And that's why we fight today. And it's necessary that we be fighters today so that they can have a better tomorrow. And it don't matter who tells you that it's not. You keep moving, because even right now in 2020, you know, everybody say 2020 has been a year. And yes, it has. But you know what? God knew it was necessary to get some of us out of our comfortable spaces and to do some different things in our lives, to impact some more people in life. And let me tell you something. Everyone that gets out here on social media and goes live or do whatever it is that they're doing, you are making an impact on somebody else's life. And some of them people you will never meet. But guess what? What you are doing right now is so necessary. And God knew it was necessary. And that is why this pandemic, come on y'all, this pandemic was necessary to pull some of the best of us out of us. Because we did some things that we dared ourselves to do. We are in spaces now that we would have dared our own selves to go into. We writing books and we doing live videos, and we're building new buildings and we building new relationships. We even thinking different now. We spending time with family that we just didn't have time for at all. We are loving one another more because we get a chance to spend that time with one another. And so that brings it right back to necessary. It's necessary. I'll go back to what I was starting and leading into with our ancestors. if you think it wasn't necessary, what they went through, I thought about John Lewis when he said they got in good trouble. You understand? See, we looked at it like, and many people have over the years, what happened to him and when they beat him, you know, on Bloody Sunday. Yeah, but you know what? He came back and he left this earth. And before he left that earth, he came back and said, we got in good trouble. And you know what? Look here. That's what we doing right now. We getting in some good trouble. We are taking some chances that we know that we got some enemies, some critics standing behind us out there in the front of us and saying, she ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. Why they even trying to do that? That don't even make sense. But when next time somebody tell you that, you tell them I'm doing it because it's necessary. I'm writing a book because it's necessary. Necessary why? Because you want to get your story out there. Because once it's in a book, it lives forever. That's why it's necessary. Because somebody else got your story in their life. They just can't tell it. They don't know how to tell it. But when they read your story, that inspires them to keep moving. Even if you don't write a book, some of us sing, you know, and so through your songs, that is a part of being necessary, because even in that, you are saying something and making somebody else, some little girl, some little boy, believe in themselves. That was necessary, that you put the shyness behind you and stand up and go out there and talk to people. Even a line of communication is so very important, because some people say, well, I'm very shy, but I tell people all the time, let me tell you something. I used to fly all over the place, you know, and doing and standing in front of crowds of people. But every time I stood, let me tell you something, it wasn't a time like my stomach didn't drop down to the ground, I felt like. But you know what? I stood anyways, because it was necessary, because you got information that somebody else needs. I dare you to sit down. When God gave you a gift, you gonna sit down? Why are you sitting down? It's necessary that you stand up. You gotta take a stand. I gotta take a stand. We gotta use these mouths that we have to touch the lives of other people. Don't you know that that is a gift? Your hands are a gift. Your mind is a gift. Everything about you, because you know what? You were wonderfully made. Why are we standing back like we are afraid of people who need what we got? It's necessary. Everything you went through, everything that you're facing right now is necessary. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Because guess what? When you learn yourself, you involve yourself. Let me say this again. When you learn yourself, and I believe we've all learned ourselves. When you learn yourself, you will involve yourself. And when you involve yourself, you will sustain yourself. I hope y'all getting this morning, because this is what it was on my heart, and I just wanted to just push it out. Because along with it's necessary to learn yourself, because it's necessary to involve yourself, because overall you can sustain yourself, and that is necessary, because things in life try to break you down and tell you no more, no more, no more. I'm tired of you doing this. And you know who's saying that to you? You saying that to yourself, because you're not taking that time to learn yourself. That's why a lot of us, we don't even like ourselves. But we're wonderfully made. And the only reason why we don't, because somebody else told us who we was going to be. We allowed somebody else to come in and shake our foundation, when God already told you you was wonderfully made. He already told you the head, you not the tail. You know, you more than a conqueror. But when you don't learn yourself, you begin to think that you are what everybody else say you are, and you are nothing outside of what they say that you are. Why are you doing that to yourself? You know why? Because you didn't learn how to love yourself. Starting today, learn how to love yourself. And watch yourself. You'll become more and more and more involved in some of the things that you want to do. And you know what? Everything you need, you've already been equipped with it. Everything you need to do anything that you want to do, you've already been equipped with it. So why are you not doing it? Because you haven't learned yourself. Learn what makes you tick. And so what if somebody else don't like it? You ain't got nothing to do with how somebody else feel about you. Stop it today. You get ready, all of us getting ready to go into another year. And you gonna have some critics in this year that's gonna cross over in 2020 with you. Because they need somebody to look down on. You give a man somebody to look down on? Don't believe me? Ask LBJ. Lyndon B. Johnson. He wrote that. You give a man somebody to look down on, you can pick his pocket. That's why we got in the world today so much hatred. Because somebody of power, that's a lot of people, of power can make you look down on somebody else who you and that person is right there equal, walking in life together. You look down on that person, and the person that's telling you all those things about that person that you looking down on, they picking your pocket. You know why? Because you haven't learned what's necessary. Nobody needs to tell you what's necessary in your life. You already know. You got a mind, you got a brain, you got everything. See, nobody else have nothing that you don't have in the manner. They might have a car, right? And the car costs $100,000, but you got a car and your car costs $10,000, $15,000, but you still got a car. You got what's necessary in your life. You got what you can afford in your life. You got that. My late husband told me something I never ever forget. He said, you never get upset with somebody that you have the same access that they have. You have the same access that they have. Why are you upset with them? What did he mean about that? I was going through something on my job at the time, and I would come home and I would tell him how this person was treating me. You know, a person in authority, right? So he said, sit down, sweetie, sit down. Let me talk to you. Because that's how we communicate. I just want to talk to you. Because it had gotten to the point, it had me just so worked up. I was just couldn't halfway eat. It was really a bad situation that a lot of people even today are going through. That's why, guess what? So many people are starting up their own businesses so that they don't have to tolerate all of this foolishness that people bring in their lives just because they don't like you for whatever reason. They probably don't even know, right? So my late husband said, look here, sweetie, you don't never get upset with somebody that you have the same access that they have. That man go to that job just like you go to that job. He got a key to unlock that door to that office just like you have a key to unlock that door to that office. He got access to his supervisor over there in HR. Guess what? You got access. Why do we get upset with people that got the same access to things that they have? They got access to God and you got access to God. It was necessary for you to go through everything that you was going through and what you going through right now. So guess what? Learn how to love you so you can get more involved. And I'm going to tell you, that have helped me to grow. And I have shared that with so many other people. I found myself during this time of the election, which I thank God is behind us. And I thank God is behind us. But look here, People were worried. People was upset. A lot of things was going on. People had a lot of emotions. But you know what? I had to go back. Listen to me closely, because your kids gonna do this too. You do it too. But look here, you got to go back and get that out that Pandora box. Some things that some people told you, some things that mama told you, some things that daddy told you, some things that your husband told you, some things that your wife told you, some things that you told your children, some things, you got to go back in that Pandora box and you got to get that. Because that thing was necessary. And even though you put it away for a minute, God said, go back and get that. Go back and get that integrity they was telling you about. Go back and get that fight they put in you. Go back and get those memories and those words that they said. Go back and get that. It's in the Pandora box. It was necessary that you put that in your mind, that you can pull it up again when you want it. And so when people were saying stuff like, I just don't know what to do, I say, look here, let me tell you something that my late husband told me. You got the access that everybody else got. The rich man got it, the poor man got it, the man in the middle got it, and that's a vote. Everybody got one vote. So guess what? You go do your part, because right now it is necessary. And if you don't think that it was necessary, guess what? Because you saw it was necessary, you stood in the long lines. Come on, y'all. You stood in the long lines. You woke up early in the morning. Some people stayed out there 2 and 3 hours. People did what was necessary. And look, a change came. Come on now. If you don't think that if you think God not trying to show us what's necessary, he told us during this time, and I'm just using this election because this is the most current event. Look here. He told us it's necessary that you go out there and get some more people to register to vote. It's necessary that you talk about my mercy and my grace. It's necessary that you know that I am in the front of your life. It's necessary to know that you are somebody. You are not what people trying to tell you that you are. It is necessary that you don't let nobody and nothing define who you are. You better go ahead on and start believing that you are necessary. You necessary. Because you necessary to somebody else. I say this all the time, and I really mean it. I am so excited about seeing people rising up and doing things. I mean, if you already had a building, you building out on that. You doing some new construction to that church or whatever, your business, whatever. You're doing some stuff to it. I see it all the time. I see men and women talking about what they want to do, not what they've already done, what they want to do. And then you know what? And then they put some breath in it and they keep moving and they start building on that thing. You know why? Because they know that it's necessary. What you're doing right now is necessary for this future generation. It's necessary. It's necessary that you don't give up. You know why? Because if our ancestors had given up, we wouldn't have the freedom that we have right now. We wouldn't have the access that we have right now. But somebody decided years ago it was necessary. It was necessary to take back then what they took, so that we could have better today. Don't you never tell yourself, don't you never let nobody tell you that you are not worthy and what you are doing is just too much. You just going over the top. It don't take all of that. People gonna do what they want to do. And you don't need to be telling people all of that. Well, guess what? You do what you gonna do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do because it's necessary. I love that. I love the fact that it's necessary that I was born. You ought to tell yourself that. Because your life is touching so many people's lives that you will never meet. Let me say this again. Your life, whoever I'm talking to, your life, my life, our lives are meeting people that we'll never meet. It's impacting. Impacting. That word impact, that's powerful now. See, I told you I'm a word person. Impact, that's a very important word. Let me tell you, see, because impact means I made a difference. My life made a difference in somebody else's life. My life encouraged someone else to get up and do something. My life, I'm not talking about me personally, just myself. I'm talking about all of us. My life caused another person to cry when they were afraid to cry about some things that had hurt them. My life told somebody else, it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to be afraid to be who you are. You just got to learn how to love yourself. You got to learn yourself. You got to involve yourself. You got to sustain yourself. You got to have hope. And remember what I said about hope? You got to hold on, but know that pain ends. And not only that, you got to have only, listen to me closely, you got to have only positive expectations. Attach that to your hope. You got to have some positive expectations. Stop always expecting the worst. Stop it right now. You know why? Because you're necessary. The quicker you learn that, the better you're going to be. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking about something I had to learn to do. I had to learn how to have only positive expectations. Because as long as I sat there and said, that's not going to work, oh, that ain't going to work, I'm not going to worry about doing that. Let me tell you something. When you do that, let's go back to the atmosphere. You put that stuff out there, pretty much what you put out there, that's what you're going to get back. You put negative words out there all the time. You keep telling yourself you gonna be broke. I'm broke. Y'all know, I don't care how much money you get. I'm broke. And you know what? Since you want to be broke, then that's what you start thinking like what you talking about. And that's the truth. You start thinking about and looking at life what you talking about all the time. So if I tell myself I'm broke all the time, I'm pretty much gonna be broke. And sometimes that don't mean finances. Sometimes that means a broken spirit. Just broke. Because you didn't see it, everything that you've been through to be necessary. You necessary. What you went through, it was necessary. It was necessary because it made you better. It was necessary because it made you cry and purge some things and get some things out your system. It was necessary. People have survived so many things through life. So many things through life. And you know what? They were afraid to talk about it until you talked about it. They were afraid to sing about it until you sung about it. They were afraid to write about it until you wrote about it. They were afraid to take that next step until you took that next step. They were afraid to build a new building until they saw you building a new building. They were afraid to get on a different platform until they saw you get on a platform. It's necessary that you let people know that it's necessary that they move from where they are and keep moving, because your enemy don't have no reins on you. They got the same access that you got. And anybody that have the same access that you got, you stop worrying about them. Stop it. I tell you, like my late husband used to tell me, I ain't worried about nobody that I got the same access that they got. You better hear me. Because guess what? If I got the same access you got, that means you ain't no bigger than me. All right. Oh, yes. And y'all, we can access some things. See, you can walk on that same job that they used to deny our ancestors. You can go fill out that. You got the same access to fill out an application like they do. And I bring this word up all the time. And I'm going to share it again today. because we all got these people in our lives who are inflexible. We use that a lot in the world of psychology. Inflexible. Some people, let me tell you something, they don't want to change. They want to stay right where they are. They good with things like they was back in 1990. Well, I'm not. It's necessary that you move with the times. And it's necessary that you take a look, reflect back. It's okay to reflect back sometimes. Just don't go back. Don't go back. Reflection is good because it helps you to appreciate where you at now. But don't you let nobody take you back there. Don't you let nobody make you sit down. Don't you allow nobody to tell you that you're not worth anything. Don't you do that. You keep building. On whatever you building on, you keep building. Because it's necessary. All right? I just wanted to share that with you guys this morning. It was on my heart this morning. Sometimes I want to get up at nighttime in the middle of the night and just come on live. But I said, I'm gonna be obedient and I'm gonna do it like I'm supposed to do it. But you are necessary. Oh my God, if you just knew how necessary you were. If you knew how necessary every situation in your life, I'm talking about from childhood to now, that has happened. How necessary that was for you to go through. And look at you now. Pat yourself on the back. Again, I'm going to leave you with this morning. Learn yourself so that you can involve yourself, and that's going to help you to sustain yourself. All right? Y'all have a wonderful day. And look, you know what I'm about to say. It ain't none of your business how somebody else feel about you. Enjoy your day. I love you and you necessary. Tell somebody else that today. Bye-bye.